Let's welcome back our co-host. He is a retired admiral, former president of the Berkeley County Commission, Bill Stubblefield.
Good morning, Rob. A lot of good information this morning.
Nothing less than 100% attendance will suffice with you, Admiral.
Yes, I got my little checklist here. You're checking it off every day that I'm not here. Are you going to call Bonnie and said, where is he? I need a written excuse.
I've not had to do that yet, but don't put it beyond me. I will do it. Also, Maria Lawrenson is with us as well as from the future retirement zip code.
There you go.
Yeah. Will you stay local, or do you think you're going to cruise off to some other sunset?
No, my husband is still working for like another 6 years or so.
You never let that stop you from leaving town before.
Yeah. That's true.
You know, for the introduction, you forgot to say on the Board of Governors for Blue Ridge, and that leads us into the other discussion.
Yeah.
And both of us have been.
Both of us have been. You're still.
I'm
right?
still, yeah, but you were, yeah.
For a long time.
I took your place.
And I joke that that Pete and company gave me a little clock that had the years, and then we had to take the years off because the years weren't accurate because I served like 3 years after the years were on the clock. But it was a good service opportunity. So
well, speaking of a good opportunity, these folks, I bet, at least a dozen years have been coming on this program. Dr. Pete Checkovich, Dr. Ann Shipway with us from Blue Ridge CTC. Great to have you both with us.
Nice to be here, Rob.
Good to be here.
A lot of people think we only invite you on to get Chef Steve's baked goods.
Which is accurate.
Which is
100%.
Nowhere near true. We don't beg for food like that, but we will accept it when offered.
When do we not beg for food?
I was just going to say.
We always beg for food.
We complain that we haven't, I complain that we haven't had any for a while.
When we are asleep, we never mention that we want them to bring in food. So there's one 8-hour segment right there of every day.
Okay.
That's the third of the day. I'll take that as a win. So Chef Steve sent in 2 boxes of baked goods here. One of these looks like cookies and like an apple crisp of some sort, and the other looks like brownies. Is that correct? Do you guys know what was sent? Because they all look amazing.
Those are little cakes.
Little cakes?
Yeah.
Oh, even better.
And why are they always brought in and delivered to you?
So that I don't have to hear you chew during the show. Isn't that obvious?
So Maria and I are at these at your giveness whether or not we get any or not.
You're at my what?
I don't have any idea.
Forgiveness? This is the second made-up word in the last hour and a half.
But they make sense, Maria.
Forgiveness.
I like that.
Yeah.
They make sense. Hands on my side.
I am.
How about generosity?
Yes.
Generosity.
That will work as well, Maria.
We'll see how much forgiveness I have in me when this show is over. Yeah. Well, good morning to both of you. Thanks so much for coming in. And we
always a pleasure.
Always appreciate the gifts and such. It's a new school year. I know the school year kind of never ends at the college level, but traditionally the fall is the start of the new school year. And Blue Ridge CTC has made itself a school on the cutting edge of technology and very adaptable to whatever type of student and whatever type of service is necessary. As new companies move in, you guys come up with ways of training that workforce so that they're ready to go to work. If it's somebody like me who's in my 60s and I want to go back to school and take a class, you can handle that too. And if I just got out of high school, you can provide a very affordable way to get college credits. You got it all covered.
Got it covered. And we react to the needs of the region and the needs of our students and our industries and employers. 80% of our students are occupational students, headed to the workplace when they finish with us. 20% are transfers. So we've been able to attract a lot of fine companies in this area, as you well know. You know, P&G, the electric company. We did a lot of training for Hollywood casinos, still do the training for them.
Yes, we met one of the mayors, in fact, of one of the cities in Jefferson County teaches at your school, the art of casino dealing.
Oh, yeah.
Ken.
Yes.
Yeah, Ken Suits.
Ken Suits, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it was pretty neat because he, the Gilstrap and whoever was co-hosting with him that day, might have been Bobwell, they're going to take a course.
Yes.
They're going to learn how to deal.
Good.
Ah. Right? Teach them all the time.
Yeah, those two do very good at that.
Yeah.
That program probably had more interest than any degree program I've ever seen. We had 500 openings.
Sure.
That they wanted to hire fairly soon, and 2,000 people applied for those 500 openings. They were all interviewed and selected, and they opened on time.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing any work with CMC?
Yes.
Yeah. What,
Yeah.
what do you have set up with them?
Working on the training plan right now. Kim Moss, our Director of Customized Training, has been talking with CMC as well as Ann Myers. She kind of directs some business retention as well as leads our foundation effort. She's been talking to CMC as well. And Kim will be meeting with them very soon to talk about hiring our graduates, paid internships for students through the Learn and Earn grant program, as well as anything in our manufacturing family of training that they may need.
Now, when you set it up with Procter & Gamble, is that a program that continues, or after they were set up and fully employed, does that program end?
No, in fact, we had a large project this summer. They were retraining 1,200 people because their technology changes, and they needed them to be upskilled in the new technology. So we had a rather robust program that we received some money from the Chancellor's office to conduct. They still get good support from the state for paying for their training.
That's got to be an asset, Bill, as a former county commission president, when you're recruiting companies to come into the area. You can train the workforce locally. That's got to be a huge bonus for an area to get a company.
A phenomenal bonus. I mentioned Procter & Gamble. Macy's was another one that
Macy's,
you get a lot
yeah.
of training. There was one we did not get that I thought was probably as significant as any. There was a group in West Tennessee, East Tennessee rather, that was making these propellers for windmills. And we did not know at the time they were using us as leverage to get a sweeter deal from the state of Tennessee. But Blue Ridge jumped up the plate and was setting up a remote welding program unique to this particular need, and it was a very, very impressive program you'd set up, and it was enough that this company that came in with every intention of using us as a leverage that had second thoughts, and we became competitive, even though it was not intended for us to be competitive, thanks to Blue Ridge.
Feather in the cap there.
Yeah.
So, in an era where people are finding difficulty in employing people who are skilled enough to teach or show many of these skills, how are you finding people routinely to do it?
Yeah, well, it depends on the industry. And in many cases, there are folks who are near retirement or are looking for a career change. Working in industry is not always an easy thing. You're around-the-clock work. And higher education is different nature. And they find that work-life balance sometimes is better with higher education than it would be directly in an industry. So, for example, when the power company came to us a number of years ago, they said, we got a problem. The average age of our worker is 55. In another 5 years or so, they're all going to be gone. Nobody's coming along to take their place. What can you do for us? And we said, well, after a number of discussions, there are three things. We can design a curriculum for you, we can teach that curriculum, and we can also market for you to get, because some people didn't know what does it mean to be a lineman. It's actually a really good career for people that like to use their hands and work outside. So, one of the things that we learned from that is that folks that were coming close to retirement, we had a well-known instructor by the name of Dwayne Robertson who passed away a couple of years ago. He came to work for us, and he knew the industry backward and forward. It was a second career for him, and that's where we have gotten a lot of our expertise from. It's a real smart thing to do, I think. It carries on the legacy of those folks that are in the industry and want to see people come along behind them. And we've probably worked with a dozen other companies that have the same issue. Nobody's coming along, what can you do? So that three-step process is what we do, and it has worked very well.
Yeah. Did they find you, or do you find them?
It's a joint effort. It's a joint effort, and we work really well with the local development authorities, with the state development authority too, and we're actually at a point now, I think, where we've wanted to be for a long while as part of a welcome wagon. When a company shows an interest of coming into an area, we may have some preliminary meetings with them to show them what the community college can do, what our capacity statement is, and that's what Plus, we serve them good food from from the brewing. Yeah, and we may even make an offer to incubate a company. You know, it's a lot easier to work in a building than it is in a trailer. And so we incubated P&G for 6 months or so. They were in our tech center, and they were really enjoying the food too.
I'm telling you, that was not that everything else wasn't wonderful about Blue Ridge, but was the best lunch I ever had sitting on a board. I have to just say, it's absolutely true. But I think, too, it's almost like not necessarily a chicken and an egg, but you've got the company that wants to come here, and then you say, we have this training that we can do for these workers. I mean, it's just the best of both worlds, that the company wants to locate, we have this training, then the company comes, then you train, and the word kind of gets out. And I don't know that other community colleges across West Virginia certainly have enjoyed that type of
Level of
success
yeah.
rate.
There's some evidence that backs you up on that. There's a firm called Smart Assets that gets you the best buy for your dollar. And they did a survey of community colleges in the United States. They selected 500 based on criteria. You had to have a certain size. If you were under a certain number of students, you were not in the survey. We made the survey. We were number one in West Virginia, absolute best community college in West Virginia based on these elements: retention rate of students, cost to go to school, and faculty to student ratio. We were number 34 out of 500 in the United States, which I think,
Pretty amazing.
you know, coming from the basement of a women's residence hall, that's a pretty good deal.
Now, maybe you want to put that in perspective, context, Pete, when you say that. Just
That's
So
what we-
people know your
that?
background.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's our
Where you
headquarters-
came from.
Our headquarters was located in a abandoned residence hall. There used to be a women's residence hall, and we were in the basement of that building for probably 10 years. And I always knew Martinsburg kind of needed a community college. It was the only major city in West Virginia that did not have a community college operating in it. And it has turned out to be a marvelous
I'd say.
transition.
And having, again, served on that board when
Yeah.
the construction was going on,
Yeah.
and just how exciting that was to see that dream really come to fruition was just pretty amazing.
Yeah.
There's another dream as well. We know what you contribute to the to industry and bringing companies in, and we know what you contribute to the local community. But what is less known, the contribution you've made to West Virginia tourism and the program that you've done there.
Yes, I have some data for you,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact.
And this is a very impressive program, what you
Oh,
folks
my
put
goodness,
together.
yes.
Yeah, it is. It is. It has multiple lines of effort.
Yeah.
So, but the largest line of effort right now is the Blue Ridge was asked to organize online instruction for the West Virginia Department of Tourism. And of course, we said, yes, we will do that.
Yeah.
And we had to figure out how to do what they needed. And it's a great program. It's called West Virginia WV Tourism Works. And if you do a quick search online, it should pop right up. West Virginia Tourism Works. It's a fantastic program, and it's really grateful that Secretary Ruby had so much confidence in our ability to get the job done.
Give some specifics, Anna. What
I
is
sure
that?
can. I sure can. So it is. It consists of 12 different essential skills that the tourism sector has identified as important to them. So whether you are a career changer or maybe you're a middle school student, we actually have had some middle school students take this online class. It's free for everybody. It's 12 modules, 12 very short topics that are accompanied by resource materials, and we can expand those resource materials as needed for any educational organization or any other member of the tourism sector who's looking to increase their training. So these are very short. They're meant to be very pointed modules, but the modules are all narrated by members of the tourism industry. So you visit West Virginia online And it's such a different feeling. And I think, Secretary Ruby had it right. She really wanted this organic approach, and that's the word she used, organic. And we achieved that. And we're still customizing, we're still working, we're still expanding within our own culinary hospitality degree right now. We've picked up that concept and we're continuing, and we're doing more location, on location filming. So if you look at all 12 modules and the essential employability skills, we like to call them, what are the skills that the tourism industry is seeking in the right employee? So there are 12 in this particular series that were identified on, and we've worked through all 12 of those. So it's anything from how to greet a customer, the importance of greeting the customer, making eye contact, to solving a problem. How do I solve a problem? How do I communicate with somebody who's really upset? Because your vacation is important to you. When you're visiting at another state, another place, you want to be welcomed. You want to feel like you're the most important person who's just walked through your doors, right? Mm-hmm. So we need to transfer that message. We need to help individuals understand what that feels like, what that looks like, what are the right word choices to use, all the way through strategic planning. And there is a module on strategic planning. So there are 12 in total right now. We can always add to that. We can develop more resource materials for the learners, which we have started that conversation with the West Virginia Department of Education about broadening resource materials. We are seeing some middle school teachers and many high school teachers have taken the program, especially this summer. And I can give you some numbers. When we started this project, we have a pilot, and then Governor Morrissey launched, it was March 12th, the official announcement of this. So from the time we started our pilot to the present, so including the pilot as well as active people enrolled right now, we've had 2,231 individuals enroll in the program. It's very easy to enroll, very easy. Out of that number, 860 have completed the entire 12 modules. Now, the cool thing is when you complete something, right, your name goes onto a list, your contact information, and we send that information to the West Virginia Department of Tourism, and they send you cool stuff right now. So cool T-shirt, cool things. So they do have an incentive right now. This is all part of a federal grant. And the West Virginia Community and Technical College system itself is the subrecipient, and then Blue Ridge has an arrangement through them. But you've heard a lot of talk about micro-credentials. Now, in this program alone, Blue Ridge has awarded 11,938 micro-credentials, right? That's a big number.
It is, and it's particularly timely right now because
Yes.
there's such an emphasis in the state to promote tourism,
Yes.
and it's bearing fruit. I read recently that per capita, as far as tourism, we're the number one in the country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It says on the website, I just went to it, Dr. Shipway, $8.7 billion in annual revenue is derived from tourism in the state.
And you understand
Or
how
economic
important,
activity, I'm sorry.
right, that training is, so that whether you're seeking a job in tourism, you're already working in tourism, or you're just being exposed to that career, in middle school and high school, to learn how to function in that career, to be the very best employee that you can be in that career, that all adds up. That's so important to employers.
Hey, before we run out of time, I want to make sure we hit this because a lot of students in Berkeley County high schools are taking classes at Blue Ridge CTC and earning college credits.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, so
And-
tell us about that program, Pete.
Well, it's our Jumpstart program. Some people call it dual enrollment, where you're taking college courses, getting college credit, but also with dual enrollment, you get credit for your high school courses simultaneously. And it's much, much cheaper than the tuition that you would pay if you were a full-time student. I think it's $50 a credit,
Yes.
something like that. And, credits now at some institutions are $1,000 a credit. So it's a bargain. Students can get a good bit of degree work done while they're in high school. And to back up with Ann's comment about tourism, it fits nicely with our culinary program because you can have the greatest location and the most beautiful scenery, when you have good food available right there, it draws more people. So it's a complementary program to our culinary program.
It is, but let me pick up on something Ann said a second ago that really resonated with me. These modules talked about some of the basics, such as making eye contact,
yes.
and things that we tend not to remember or remind ourselves how important it is. So this is carrying you back to the ABCs of
Yes.
tourism.
One of the
Yes.
fundamentals is active listening. If
Yeah.
you've taken
Yes.
an active listening course, decision making, questioning skills, those are all part basically of active listening. And so that's the fundamental, but then there are others that branch off.
Sure.
And it's they're employability skills that employers tell us that students coming to them don't always have. So it's a real timely thing.
About 30 seconds left. Go ahead and plug the university and the college and let everybody know how they can enroll and find out more.
Yeah, we have a website, BRCTC.com, and it'll answer a lot of questions that you have there, or BlueRidgeCTC.com. We started 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago.
18th.
Yeah, and we have a second 8 weeks coming up in October, so it's not too late to enroll for something and finish up in December, finish the course. So come one, come all.
Good to see the both of you.
It's wonderful to be here.
Nice to
Thank
be
you so
here.
much.
Thank you.
And to Chef Steve and his students, keep the good stuff rolling there.
Yeah.
You go
We-
eat yourself
we
a
will.
lunch at Blue Ridge.
Those were actually made by Little Hat and Big Hat. They're two chefs. One's been with us for a while, one's brand new.
Hang on, we'll be back with the final minute after this.